I'm Aaron Graber with Ventrac, and today we've got two new winter products for use on the 4520 tractor. You can see this machine with the cab is outfitted with a brine system, which is new for us, and also our new VBlade. We're going to take some time today to go through these two products and show you all the specs and features and where you might find them useful. Whether it's regulation, salt shortages, or simply contractor preferences, brine is something that we've not had in the past, and we knew we needed to add it to the Ventrac lineup so that all of our contractors and Ventrac users have every tool available to tackle any job. Let's get right to it and look at each one of these attachments individually. I'm going to turn the tractor around and we'll go through all the specs and features. Here we are with the brine system, and this is actually a very simple attachment, but there are some key features that are worth highlighting and some operational controls that are good to know if you're going to own one of these things. The first thing I want to say is this is a 35-gallon tank. Of course, the construction of all of the framing and everything is stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about rust and corrosion there. This is a 2-inch mount for the receiver hitch, and this is not available in a 3-point mount like the drop spreader is. That's a weight consideration. We just need this thing mounted up to as close to the cab as possible. But you can mount this to a tractor if your tractor has a 3-point. You just will be using the 2-inch receiver on the tractor frame instead. You need the 12-volt power to run this unit on the back of the tractor, so that's the same as the drop spreader. And other than that, some of the basic controls about this unit are you've got a 5.3-gallon pump and 5 nozzles out the back here. Between these 5 nozzles, one in the center, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've got 48 inches if you use the inner 3 nozzles, and you've got 84 inches if you use all 5 nozzles. Those nozzles turn on and off here at the ends for the outers, and the inners are always on if the unit is on. And then your pressure regulator, the pressure gauge points towards the cab so the operator can see exactly what pressure they're running at, just in case there's any variability or there's drop there. There's of course a lock right here for you to be able to lock that down so that you know it's not going to drift. The right way to operate this is to open the valve, have the pressure set where you want it to have set, and then turn the power on and off from inside the cab. So you can turn the power on, you'll be spraying, turn the power off, and even though this is open, it stops spraying. The other control that you've got up here on this cluster is the on-off valve for the hose wand kit. Now this unit does come standard with an 8-foot coiled hose. It's a little bit more of a simple design, a little bit less complex of a head here, but that's the unit in its standard trim. And then what we've got shown is the optional hose reel kit that has a 25-foot reach. And over here you can see this is fully retractable. This will lock in and then give it a tug and it'll come back, and then the mount is right here. One more feature you'll notice about the brine kit is that this bar is adjustable. You see these two mounts right here. If I hold onto the bar and loosen these up, it allows me to change the height of these nozzles relative to the ground. So I can go up or down. If you go all the way up, this is really only useful as a transport position, just to make sure that these nozzles are as far away from the ground and obstructions as possible. Anybody who's run one of these units knows that you can bang this around pretty good and do some damage here. This is also modular, so that if you do damage to these nozzles or this rear piece, you can replace it, just disconnect the hoses and put new parts on. Of course, that's all factory supported from us, just like everything else that we build. But the recommended distance for these nozzles to the ground is 15 inches. In a second here, I'll share some facts and figures from the chart that's in the user's manual about what to expect for distance and area covered on this unit. And all of those facts are built off of a model where these nozzles are 15 inches from the ground. So obviously if you raise it up, you're going to bleed a little bit further out in terms of your total coverage, and your coverage pattern might look a little bit different. If you lower the unit even further than that, then you'd be a little bit tighter to the walk. There is a little bit of variability there, and you can adjust that based on your preferences, but we recommend 15 inches from the ground as the starting place to be able to use the chart that we have in the operator's manual and to have consistency for application. This is the chart I was referencing that's in the operator's manual for this kit. And this is useful because it'll give you everything that you need to know about the final parameters of this unit, what's possible, and where you probably want to settle. I'm going to give you the extremes so that you know what this unit is capable of and understand that you can basically settle anywhere in between those extremes as well. So there's really two modes here, outer nozzles off and on. I'll start with if you have the outer nozzles off, so you'd be in a 48-inch spray pattern. If you go to the max speed on this chart, which is 9.3 miles an hour, you're going to have a coverage of 20 gallons per acre, and that 35 gallons is going to give you a total coverage of 3.6 miles. Now on the other end of the chart, if you back that speed down to 3.7 miles per hour, you're going to get a total coverage of 50 gallons per acre, and that 35 gallons will yield 1.4 linear miles of coverage. If you turn the outer nozzles on and you have that 84-inch spray pattern, your two extremes are at 8.8 miles per hour, again, 20 gallons per acre, you're reaching 2.1 miles, and at 3.5 miles an hour, 50 gallons per acre again, 0.8 miles. That gives you an understanding of the ultimate limits of this unit, and this is a really great chart to reference for when you're dialing this in on the properties that you're working on. That's a wrap for all the important operational features on the new brine kit. Of course, there's the standard stuff like your fill being here at the top of the tank, having a drain on the side. We even have some convenient handles here on the end to help you lift and maneuver this thing onto the tractor. The price on this unit currently is $32.95 for the base brine system. That includes everything but the 25-foot hose reel. That reel is an additional $9.95, so coupled together, you're at $42.90 in current dollars. That covers the brine system. Now let's flip this tractor around and look at the VBlade. Up next is the VBlade, and this is a special attachment because it's not very often that we just remake something we already had. The last thing I can remember is the power rake, and the reason was because we made a bunch of improvements to it, and this is much the same. We have a VBlade already. It is a good VBlade that works well, good value, durable, everything about it is nice, and this one is better. So we've gone to a totally updated design, and the reason for that is because this has our patented trip edge design on it. Let's start with an overview of some of the basic specs on this VBlade first. It is 53 inches wide if both wings are pointed in the same direction. So if you're pushing straight ahead like this, or you've got both of those wings aligned in either direction, you're 53 inches on the standard blade. If you independently move these wings and you create a V pointed back towards the tractor like this, you're 47 inches wide, and if you scoop towards the front, you're 49 inches wide at the tips. These wings move independently. One of the changes we made with this VBlade is to go to 4 hydraulics instead of 2 hydraulics and a solenoid. So this does require that the tractor have a dual aux kit on the front. That's something that a lot of our attachments use, and we're going that direction with everything that we can because the durability and the longevity of hydraulics over electronics is usually better on the attachment side. So each one of these wings moves independently from the other. You'll use the secondary SDLA lever to do that. One of them will be the lever all by itself. The other wing will be the lever plus the button. Each wing can move 30 degrees forward and reverse, and together that means that you can make a lot of different motions with this VBlade for whatever the situation calls for. Now let's talk about the real magic of this VBlade. The importance of a VBlade in the first place is to add versatility. A straight blade is powerful and cheap. A snowblower is super capable but expensive. A broom is fantastic for getting all the way down to pavement, but it's not that great for very deep snows. A VBlade is a great mix of all of those things to be able to accomplish a little bit of everything all in one shot. What's best about a VBlade over a straight blade is it allows you to control the motion of the snow to be able to more finely place it and go faster over broken pavement. If I put this blade in the V'd position, I can run a much faster path down a sidewalk than I can a straight blade or a snowblower. The problem with that is the faster you go on a sidewalk, most people know there's a lot of broken pavement, uneven edges, you're gonna hit things. On a typical V-blade, without this special trip edge, every time it trips, you're gonna dump snow. This blade helps to solve that by allowing you to go as fast as possible forward while maintaining that high performance where the edge meets the pavement. The way that it does this, and the part of our blade that's patented and unique to us, is the trip edge itself also translates. So these pieces down here on the front half of the blade, the black portion, that is the trip edge. The problem with a V-blade is when your V-blade trips, those would hit and they have nowhere to go. Because we've allowed them to translate, it can now make one swift motion back and translates out as it hits itself, so it maintains constant contact with the pavement, keeps pushing snow forward, and minimizes the impact to the machine and the operator driving it. As any operator knows, when you're plowing a sidewalk, you oftentimes can't see what's underneath because as soon as you get a few inches or more of accumulation on that walk, you can't see the difference in pavement, so you're gonna get surprised by a lot of stuff. That impact is minimized by this V-blade and allows the operators to continue momentum forward, to stay efficient, and to have the best results with the least amount of ergonomic strain on the operator. This new V-blade has a current MSRP of $4,600, and we also have 4 unique accessories to help outfit this V-blade for your personal needs. We have a 6-inch extension kit, which is an extension kit for both sides that extends the top piece as well as the trip edge. We also have a poly edge kit, so you can run the standard operation but with a poly edge. And poly edges are useful for using this blade on pavers or more delicate surfaces. We have a combination 6-inch extension with poly edges. And then lastly, we have a snow containment flap that bolts to the top of the unit and helps keep that snow inside the blade and funneling outwards. That's it for the new Ventrac VBlade, another powerhouse attachment to get serious work done in the winter, and another great example of our engineering team working hard to produce products for our hardworking customers. Thank you for watching this video highlighting the new Ventrac winter product for the 24-25 season, the VBlade and the Brine System. These are both for sale already, so they are in the market, available to purchase today. If you have any more questions, be sure to check out our website at ventrac.com and make sure to follow the YouTube channel for more videos showcasing these pieces in winter use. Thanks for watching.